On the face of it is the only play in your syllabus, children, and it deals with primarily two people, a young teenager named Derek or Derry, and there is one fellow who is an old man named Mr. Lamb. Now the question is that you have to understand when such a kind of a scenario is presented over here where there are two characters, they are generally opposite in temperament, personality, and character, right opposite to each other. Now, this young boy who was in early teens, he was a person who was having a burnt face. The acid ate his face up and also ate him up according to him. So the acid, what it did was that it shattered the life of this boy named Derry. And what happened over here is that his whole life changed. Now, society also did not help this fellow find out a better way of living life. When he came out of the hospital, people said that he should have been in the hospital with people like him. No, that is not how the world should be. All the lame people together, all the deaf people together, and all the, people with burned faces together. The world is all about variety. Even his parents said that what will happen to him after we go. So that is how his self-confidence was shattered. He was always running away from people, hiding from people, trying to find places where nobody went. And also he wanted to live in a room which is away from the world where nobody entered. So this is what happened to the boy. On the other hand, there was Mr. Lamb. Now, to understand Mr. Lamb, we need to understand his garden and his house first. The house was in the middle of a big garden, and in this house there were books. The house was full of books, and they had no curtains because Lamb wanted to feel the outside sitting inside, the wind of the outer world, the darkness, the light, everything. The garden was different. In a garden, everybody grew flowering plants, but Lamb grew weeds as well. He thought that both weeds and flowering plants are full of life, they're growing, they're beautiful. He didn't think that bees buzzed, he thought that bees hummed. He sat under the tree reading books, he climbed the trees to pluck crab apples and made jelly and candy. He lived a wonderful life. He had a tin leg, the original one was blown in the war. But he didn't care for that. He thought that there was so much beauty in this world that there is nothing to think about that tin leg. And people called him Lamey Lamb. He didn't care. He thought that rhymed also. Lamey Lamb, Lamey Lamb. He enjoyed that. There is no... Just a second, the mobile phone needs to switch off. And the situation is something like this, that Lamb enjoyed that. He even fed, the jelly and the candy to these people. And finally what happened here is that Lamb lived a wonderful life without caring for anybody or any situation. This is the story primarily of Mr. Lamb and Derry. He lived life, he enjoyed life, he embraced life. Anybody could come in, anybody could go out inside his garden, and the gate was always open. He loved to meet people, he loved to befriend them, he loved to talk to them. There was no hard and fast rule that the people had to talk to him. But he loved talking with people. Now you can imagine when these two people meet up, what will be the situation? But if I tell everything to you in this video, that will not make any sense. We'll come back with this in part 2. Thank you very much.